Hey guys, back with some more Bazaar, and today we're going to be breaking down what we know so far about the next season with some item reveals and with a new lore video dropped by the Bazaar channel called Secrets of the Green Heart, which reveals some interesting new items, some enemies, I guess some the themes surrounding the next season. It's really interesting so far, so let's get started and we'll just break it down as we go along.
Leave the green heart to its slumber. Go and do not return.
So cool little opening there, kind of indicates the theme of the next season. It's kind of giving like, jungle explorations, a little bit of Aztec inspiration maybe, like with the shapes and colors and just the way that these enemies look, which I assume they are going to be enemies. They, especially with the voice lines, they sound a little bit devious.
Turn.
So, Secrets of the Green Heart.
From the underworld of Roughtown to the bubbling laboratories of the Arcane District, the Bazaar is a city of secrets. But the bravest of Bazarians venture beyond these familiar walls into the untamed wilderness of the Outlands.
So it seems like there's going to be a lot of themes of exploration and, questing and adventuring in this season. We kind of see that in the new items as well, but we'll explore that a little bit later. Obviously, this is a explore the jungle. It's the same image from that. So yeah,
For that
interesting
is where the
so far.
true mysteries begin.
We know so little about the Outlands. What else could be down there?
And perhaps no Outland holds more mysteries than the Green Heart.
So, name drop, I guess that's the lore that they are unveiling is the Green Heart. And it's kind of, it really does give, Central America. They've obviously taken a lot of inspiration from there. I'm no historian, so please don't judge me for getting things wrong. This is off the dome. This is just what I'm trying to remember. But I mean, just looking at the imagery here, it does feel that way. Obviously, they put their own spin on it because it's their own thing, but it does have a lot of Aztec inspirations and themes. Even with this arch at the top here, it looks like the traditional headdress at that time. Very, very cool so far.
A seething jungle so deep and dark, no Bazarian has ever explored its depths until...
So, new event. The second legendary event that we have ever seen in the Bazaar. Temple Expedition. So, very, very interested in this. I'm excited to see more legendary events. Now, the only thing I'm slightly concerned about, and has been an issue with the Bazaar, I guess, for the whole running of the game, is RNG. Like, how often is this going to crop up? And, like, what's the barrier to entry? And how overpowered is it going to be? Because it's like, when you're playing the Bazaar and you get Fiery Rebirth, you kind of got it on lock, for the rest of the game. You got double the HP. You come back to life when you die. And I'm just wondering, what does this mean, really, for, when you're playing? Is this max specific? I don't think so, but... so we also see here, apart from the Temple Expedition, we see a new item here in the middle, which we'll explain later. And then we also see a new max skin, which is interesting, as well as some new cosmetics. Cool so far. Loving the vibes.
Till now.
I mean, look at this transition. So we can see we're inside the event, and we also have a new board here as well, which looks stunning. Again, with the Aztec imagery. Loving it so far.
Legends of the powerful relic.
So here's the Idol of Decay. This is also what we are going to react to later from the Crypt video. He revealed some of these items. And this reveals a new genre of items. These are quest items, but we'll go over this a little bit more later.
Draw adventurers from every corner of the bazaar.
Now, this is one item that Crypt didn't reveal, which we'll go over briefly. So this here, we can see the quest mechanic. You have to do things a certain amount in order to unlock things about the item. And we can see here when we gain regen 50 times, we seem to unlock a regen aspect of this item. So I'm really interested in this. This item looks really interesting. Blank slate, new Mac item.
But eyes watch from every shadow, and few of them will be...
Yeah, so we can see here, these are the enemies we saw in the first shot with different rarities. They all look really cool. I mean, obviously a great feature of the Bazaar throughout its whole running has been the art. The art has been absolutely stunning. And the world that they have built has been absolutely incredible as well. And I think that kind of carries over into this new part as well. We're seeing so much amazing new lore being dropped, and it's really, really exciting, to be honest with you.
friendly.
The relics are not yours. They will not serve you. You shall not plunder the dream.
So we can actually see their board here. Seems like a Mac Poppy Field sort of thing. This kind of looks like it might be one of the tougher enemies, to be honest with you. It's quite rapid. We can't see what the monster skill is, but we see another new item on the board there to the right as well. Yeah, very fast and a lot of poison.
Ancient ruins await.
Okay, another new legendary event, Temple Reliquary. Reliquary? So we get one of 3 legendary relics, which I guess is some new legendary items. Also love the art for this one as well. We see Pearl here, you know, adjacent to what looks like an altar with some magical things happening at the top.
Discovery, not only for their treasures, but for the lost lore.
I mean, and look at the art for these things, man. We see what looks to be maybe something new on the right here. It could just be a lifesteal weapon, but to me, the color seems a little bit different. It kind of seems like a deep pink, like a hot purple. Whereas when you see lifesteal, it's a really deep red, a dark red. So obviously with the item on the left here seems freeze themed. We've got burn in the middle and then something new on the right maybe. This looks really, really exciting though. I don't think we have seen many new legendary items since the open beta. Because they haven't really released many new legendary monsters, I don't believe. So this will be an interesting addition, is more legendary items.
Of those who came before.
3 civilizations I have watched crumble. Will yours be the 4th?
I mean, one of my favorite genres is like cool immortal character who's, you know, lived through it all. And so here we have some really awesome looking monster who seems to be a mix between, it feels like it takes some inspiration from something like a chimera and then also takes some, I don't know if this is an Aztec mythological creature, so I'm going to say that it looks to me like a combination between a chimera and some Egyptian mythology. Looks to me like a sphinx almost combined with the chimera. Kind of gives off those vibes as well. You know, in mythology, sphinx would give you riddles and you'd have to solve the riddles in order to survive or get through to a next, you know, get through to a secret area of some kind, to a tomb. Just had a brief look for some Aztec mythological creatures and they are a little bit tricky to find. It doesn't really remind me of any of the Pantheon. I've looked at some images of some depictions and it doesn't really bear many similarities. But really, really cool character. I do like the vibes of this one.
However, not every explorer seeks wealth or glory. One is simply curious. And when he tampers with the circuits of time, his curiosity will get him in trouble.
So you can see here, this seems like a Dually expansion. This is what they're hinting at, is we're seeing some dinosaur themed time travel sort of stuff with Dually. So it seems like Dooley's gone back in time somehow, and we're getting more dinosaur items, which is what everyone wanted to see. Dinosaur is one of the coolest tags in the game. Everyone loves dinosaurs, so this is really, really awesome. Amazing art, just as a note. Love it.
While other heroes explore the ruins, our Roboid the Revolutionary finds himself in a time before they were built.
I love that term, our Roboy. Again, really, really cool art. We're seeing some what looks like vehicle dinosaur combinations, especially on the right here where you're seeing Dino on wheels. Really, really cool art. Again, lots of character with these little guys. And another new item reveal. So we can see here, this is a Dually expansion with a lot of dinosaur stuff. Some new items as well. Looking at the stash, at the gold as well. We're looking at Tanky Anki. So enemy weapons have minus 25 damage, and when one of your dinosaurs deals damage, you gain that much shield. I think this is really cool. I can imagine running this with Marmosaur and Dianosaur, you know, because they scale damage pretty well by destroying items, and it's basically you just get automatic shield. Really, really cool expansion. Love the dinosaur tag.
A chance to make some new friends. And
new core. The first new core since Dually's release. Primal Core. So, adjacent items or relics. When you use another dinosaur or relic, charges a second. Really, really cool. So, doesn't necessarily have to be to the left or right, which I think is really interesting. So it doesn't charge things on the right or left, and there aren't necessarily any bonuses to having things on the right or left either. Kind of feels like Companion Core in terms of the adjacency bonus. Like, obviously Companion Core gives its adjacent items haste, and it doesn't really require things to be on the left or right of it specifically, and that kind of feels like the direction they're going with in this. So this seems really cool. I mean, I just love the artwork as well. Primal Core, like the molten lava coming out, looks really, really cool.
experiment on them, of course.
I mean, look at the stash chest. How cool does that look, huh? The little tongue hanging out as seems like to be a bookmark in the book. Very, very cool. So, legendary relic item reveal, Spirit Diffuser. I mean, just look at the art. How grand does that look? We can see someone walking up to an altar with this massive, 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 like, you know, almost alien looking thing glowing with some really, really cool effects surrounding it as well. So at the start of each fight, we enchant a non-enchanted item on each player's board for the fight. And when an enemy uses an enchanted item, charge one enchanted item 2 seconds. This feels like it's going to be really interesting. This mechanic does interest me a lot with the removal and the addition of enchanted items, similar to the item for Mac, similar to Laboratory, which enchants an item and charges your enchanted items. So that'll be really interesting to see how this item functions. I think it'll be good. It's definitely interesting, that's for sure.
We Bazarians have
I mean, the animations there are just beautiful as well. I'm curious to see whether that's a built-in animation for the legendary item, or if that's a skin you have to unlock.
much to learn from our history and from the histories before our history.
The Foundation was here long before the Bazaar.
Seems like we have a new merchant type with some interesting, you know, kind of gives archaeologist vibes, you know, maybe someone who collects artifacts of some kind. He's inspecting a little find there. Do love his dino vibes. He looks very, very cool. A wizened old sage.
We are not the first to settle it.
Amazing new dually skin. He looks tight in this.
What wonders will you discover in the dark depths of the...
Max skin again looks amazing. I mean, serious, like, Aztec inspiration we've been seeing with at least Max new expansion, it looks like.
Green heart. And will you be...
Love it. Suits Pig's character. Kind of seems like he'd be the, you know, the British white man from, like, you know, the Mummy movies who they just want to dig up the, whatever's in the pyramid and not really care about the culture or whatever. I feel like that fits Pig. That's something he'd want to do. I mean, look at that necklace. That man cares about the money. He doesn't care about the history.
worthy of their power?
Indiana Jones vibes, obviously.
I am Komats, keeper of lost worlds.
So, Komas, keeper of lost worlds, so seems to be like a lore keeper of some kind. So kind of gives me similar vibes to a character from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Kind of reminds me of Wan Shi Tong, the character from Avatar: The Last Airbender, the librarian, a keeper of knowledge. You know, and the real kind of passive-aggressive vibes, like, you know, don't steal any knowledge from here or I'll kill you. That sort of stuff.
Keeper of lost worlds.
I mean, I just love, like, they're obviously crying. I don't know. I mean, you know, I guess with recently Freerun, I don't know if any of you guys have watched that, but exploring the tragic nature of long-lived beings seems like an interesting sort of concept to me. So it'd be cool to explore this character further. It does strike me as very intriguing.
And I will test.
So we have traps here. So we can see Blow Dart Trap, Caltrops Trap, and I'm assuming would be a Boulder Trap.
You.
Now, my theory is that with these legendary encounters that you get, you'll have to complete these traps first before you get the reward. That's my idea. Or they're just a fight and you get a reward from them. That seems a little bit unusual to me. I think there would be something afterwards. I think it makes a little bit more sense thematically that would happen that way. Oh my gosh. Look at it, spat out an orb. So, what we can see here is like 3 different choices. We can see some new items on the board here as well. So, really, really, really good vibes so far. I'm loving what I'm seeing. I love the themes. I love the idea. I love the inspiration. And I mean, in terms of the actual feasible stuff, what we're like, the physical things of what we're getting, the new items look really interesting. The skins look interesting as well. And I love the new concepts of quest items, which we will explore now. So, our first item, Eternal Torch. So, the quest mechanic. Hello, Kriparian in the bottom left. So, we can see here, it has a locked thing. So, when you burn, this gains 2 burn for the fight. And we can see here, there's a little locked thing. So, buy 10 burn items, and it unlocks something. I'm guessing it's going to be this. So, when you burn, it gains 2 burn for the fight. And then this looks like a multicast sort of deal. Kriparian already explained this. So, when you have plus 100 burn on this, it gains multicast. So you get enough scaling on the Eternal Torch and it gains multicast. That seems really, really good. This quest mechanic seems really interesting. It reminds me of some pig items that require a certain amount of spending or selling to unlock a feature, like Fixer Upper when you spend 50 gold at upgrades, like the boots. Like, we already have items that require some kind of buy-sell nature on pig. But in this, we have other features, which is you need to scale this to a certain amount to unlock another feature, which I also think is really interesting. Move on to our next item here. We have excavation tools. So, charge an adjacent relic 1 second. If you have a quest item, so the item that we were talking about before, reduces items cooldown by 50%. This seems really strong. Like, it's similar to Black Pepper in its charge adjacent items. Obviously, there's no multicast, and it is relic only. But having a quest item, reducing its cooldown by 50%, 3 seconds for one charge. And what is the upgrade going to be? Like, this is what I can see. It's at silver. More cooldown reduction maybe, or more charge. Seems really, really strong. I like the art for this one as well. Idol of Decay, another quest item. It seems to be the poison version of the Eternal Torch. So poison 2, and when you poison this, gains 2 poison for the fight after we unlock this first quest to bind 10 poison items. Then if we have 100 poison on this, we seem to get multicast of some kind. Okay. Soulstone, another interesting one. So, gained 3 regen for the fight, and we seem to unlock a different type, so poison, burn, slow, and freeze, a different proc for each 15 items we buy of that respective thing. And it's ore. So you have to choose one or the other, and that's how it works. It seems to be interesting. Obviously a high cooldown at 7 seconds, but I think that makes sense for what we're seeing from the item. Having a lot of effects on items can be really strong. It's similar to, you know, having a lot of tags on an item. It just means that it correlates with a lot of skills, with a lot of other items. It just works really well in its synergies. So, Tomb of the Ancients is our last one. So, seems to be slightly similar to the previous. We saw this imagery in the video. Really, really cool. Relic property. We gain 5 regen for the fight after 7 seconds, and it has multicast for each other relic we have. It seems like relic is going to be a much bigger theme. Now, it's really only Mac that has relic items. So it is a Mac item. I'm interested to see how they're going to maybe make this work on other characters. It feels like this quest mechanic right now is only for Mac at the minute, at least with this. I don't know whether this is an expansion or just a new Mac item, but anyway, back to the item. 2 quests on other items, we get poison. 4 quests, we get freeze. So this seems to be really strong. Any amount of freeze on this with multicast seems like it would be really good. Seems like it would work with a lot of other Mac items like Black Ice or, you know, similar freeze items as well. Freeze multicast is just always ridiculous. Freeze as a mechanic has always been super strong, always will be, as long as this is in the game. So, my overall thoughts so far are extremely positive. Like, it seems like there's a lot of great new content that they're adding in, and I'm very, very excited. I love the art, I love the style, I love the themes of the new expansions. I am especially excited, honestly, for the dually one. I love the dinosaur tag. I love playing with Mamasaur and Dianosaur. I think they're really interesting items, so it'll be really, really cool to see what we can do with that. And yeah, I'm very hopeful. I mean, Tempo have been really, really great in terms of content with the Bazaar. They've always released really, really great content. And it'll be really, really cool to see what they do in this next patch. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. And hey, if you want to support the channel, drop a like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.